Welcome to this lesson on developing a retention strategy for your organization. In the lesson, we explore a series of steps you can take to enhance the capacity of your workplace to attract, motivate, and retain your high-value employees. Employee retention stands as a cornerstone of organizational success. High turnover rates can significantly impact productivity, team morale, and overall business outcomes. To mitigate these challenges, organizations must proactively develop effective employee retention strategies. In this lesson, we'll explore a step-by-step guide on how to improve employee retention. There is no one perfect model for all companies, and you will need to adapt and modify any strategy to your organization culture and context. We will begin by examining 5 steps you can take to embed an effective retention strategy in the organization. The steps include creating competitive compensation and benefits packages, establishing coherent and accessible employee development and training programs, providing flexible work arrangements, creating meaningful recognition and rewards programs, and finally, establishing pervasive health and wellness initiatives. Let's look now at each of these in turn. The first step is to develop competitive compensation and benefits packages. To do this, you will need to research industry standards for compensation and benefits, conduct regular salary reviews to ensure competitiveness, offer performance-based bonuses and incentives, and finally, provide comprehensive health insurance, retirement plans, and other benefits. The next step is to develop your employee development and training programs. To do this, you will need to identify skill gaps through performance reviews and feedback, design a training curriculum to address those gaps, offer organization-wide opportunities for workshops, seminars, and online courses, and finally, implement a mentorship program to facilitate knowledge transfer. The third step is to establish flexible work arrangements. To do this, first evaluate the feasibility of flexible work hours and remote work. Then set clear guidelines for remote work and communication. Additionally, use technologies such as Microsoft Teams and Monday.com to facilitate collaboration among remote teams. Finally, consider offering compressed work weeks or job sharing options. And the fourth step is to establish meaningful and accessible recognition and rewards programs. To do this, establish a formal recognition framework with defined criteria. Create a variety of recognition channels, including public acknowledgement. Tie rewards to performance metrics, innovation, or going above and beyond what is expected. And finally, be sure to celebrate work anniversaries and milestones. And the fifth step is to establish comprehensive and pervasive health and wellness initiatives. To do this, take steps to promote a culture of well-being through company-wide initiatives. Provide access to wellness resources, such as gym memberships or counseling. Organize health-related challenges and campaigns. And finally, implement ergonomic improvements in the workplace. In developing your strategies for retention, you will need to tailoring strategies to employee segments, and this will involve understanding different generations and customization for departments or roles. So let's look at these 2 steps. In understanding different generations, you will need to research the values, preferences, and motivations of different generations, and recognize that each generation might require unique retention approaches. For instance, millennials might value work-life balance, while Generation Z might prefer opportunities for learning and growth. In customizing your strategy for departments or roles, you will need to conduct surveys to understand the specific needs of different departments or roles. Develop retention strategies tailored to the challenges faced by each department. And finally, acknowledge the career paths and aspirations within different roles. In deploying your strategy, you will need to maintain open communication channels and practice transparent leadership. To create open communication channels, you will need to foster an environment where employees feel comfortable expressing concerns. You will also need to implement an open-door policy where employees can voice opinions and encourage regular one-on-one discussions between managers and team members. Transparent leadership requires that you share company goals, strategies, and challenges openly with employees. Communicate changes in policies, procedures, and organizational structure, and address rumors and misinformation promptly to maintain trust. To successfully enable employee growth and development, you will need to establish continuous learning initiatives and mentoring and coaching programs. Let's look briefly at each of these. Continuous learning requires the creation of learning and development roadmaps for each employee. Supporting employees in setting personal development goals and offering cross-training opportunities to diversify skill sets. In developing your mentoring and coaching programs, pair experienced employees with newcomers for mentorship. Provide training for mentors to ensure effective guidance, and be sure to regularly assess the success of mentorship relationships. To enable good work-life balance, you will need to establish flexible work arrangements and introduce wellness programs across the organization. Flexible work arrangements require that you develop clear policies for remote work, flexible hours, and part-time options. Ensure that workload expectations remain reasonable for all arrangements, and implement tools for remote collaboration and communication. Wellness programs require that you offer wellness workshops on stress management, mindfulness, and nutrition. Provide access to mental health resources and counseling services, and organize physical activities, like yoga classes or walking challenges. And finally, to introduce successful recognition and reward systems, you will need to introduce structured recognition programs and performance-based reward systems. To successfully introduce structured recognition programs, implement a mix of formal and informal recognition methods. Create a rewards committee to ensure fairness and consistency, and celebrate small wins and achievements, in addition to major milestones. To create an effective performance-based reward system, you will need to tie the rewards to specific performance metrics and accomplishments. Make the rewards meaningful and personalized to each employee, and publicly recognize exceptional contributions during team meetings. Finally, you will need to establish a process for monitoring and adapting the program. You will need to introduce a system for continuous monitoring of the retention strategy's effectiveness. Use a small number of metrics for measurement of effectiveness, such as turnover rate, employee satisfaction scores, or average tenure, and you will also want to conduct exit interviews with all employees where possible or appropriate. Enhancing employee retention isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. By understanding the costs of failing to retain employees, and following the comprehensive steps outlined in this guide, organizations can create a culture that values growth, well-being, and recognition. Remember that the success of retention strategies relies on a commitment to continuous monitoring, adaptability, and a genuine investment in the professional and personal growth of employees. As you embark on your journey to create a more engaged and retained workforce, tailor your approach to your organization's unique culture and needs. And don't forget that expressing gratitude and saying thank you can be a powerful retention strategy that resonates with employees on a personal level.
Want to learn more about this subject? Then click on our website to view the full course. Why not subscribe and get access to free articles and special offers? Join the Global Career Highway now.